Welcome to Pyrography Made Easy. I'm Brenda. In this tutorial episode, I am going to go over why it is important to use a light hand pressure when burning. And I have a little test you could do to check your hand pressure. Well, let's get started. Wood. I'm starting out using light hand pressure with a writer pen tip. My lines are thin and easy to burn. Heavy hand pressure produces substantially thicker lines that sink down into the wood surface. The deep burn strokes make it very difficult to burn circular motion. Now I'm going to repeat this exercise using a shader. Using light hand pressure, I can burn really thin lines that don't dig deeply into the wood. Using the flat of the shader, I get uniform burn strokes, so the color is consistent throughout the entire burn stroke. I can easily layer the zigzag burn strokes because the pen tip isn't digging deeply into the wood surface. The darker color shows you how smooth the burn strokes are using light hand pressure. Using heavy hand pressure causes the pen tip to sink deeply into the wood. When I use the flat of the shader, the color is much lighter than the light hand pressure example I just did, even though the heat setting didn't change. Burning zigzags isn't easy because the pen tip wants to stay in the ruts from the previous burns. The difference between light and heavy hand pressure remains the same regardless of the pen tip you use. I highly recommend using a light hand pressure when you burn. You will get better results that are more consistent. Leather. With leather, the effects of hand pressure are more noticeable. Heavy hand pressure is being used on the burn strokes to the left of the dividing line. The burn marks done with a writer pen tip are much thicker or wider than those on the right using light hand pressure. Compare the burn strokes made with the shader. You can see how quickly the color fades on the burn strokes done using heavy hand pressure. Heat. The last thing I want to cover is how heat and hand pressure affect burn strokes. The heat on my burner is set just below the point where my pen tip starts to glow red. I am using heavy hand pressure to the left of the dividing line and light hand pressure to the right of it. Using a heavy hand pressure, even when burning at a high heat, does not produce the same smooth or consistent results that a light hand pressure does. Let's recap the problems with using a heavy hand pressure. Your hand will get fatigued much faster when gripping and pressing hard on the pen tip. It can also be difficult to get burn results at lower heat settings. You can get inconsistent burn results, so this means you'll get dark spots that appear randomly in your burn area. The color starts out okay on your burn, but fades away quickly. The pen tip is more prone to dig into the board surface, especially when using small-tipped pins or pen tips that have thin edges like skews. It can also make burning zigzags with the razor edge of a shader very difficult to do. To avoid all these problems, use a light hand pressure when burning. Pressure test. Sign your name as you normally would on a piece of paper. My top signature was done with light hand pressure, and the bottom was done with heavy. After signing, use a pencil eraser and rub over the signature to erase it. Can you easily see an impression of your signature? Then you are using a heavy hand pressure. When burning, you want to be using a pressure very similar to the one that does not produce an impression on the paper. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Thank you again for watching my video. If you liked the video and found the information helpful, then please subscribe to my channel. That would help me out a lot. Well, thank you again, and have a great week.